Ngobrol Inggris?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the YNI podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sarah. We are so happy you are here with us today.
Before we start talking about ourselves, we want to say something important to all our listeners. We know many of you are learning English. Maybe you feel nervous when you hear native speakers talk too fast.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes it feels like people are speaking a different language, right? But here is our advice for today. Please, just relax.
That's right. Don't try to understand every single word. If you hear a word you don't know, it's okay. Just let it go. Focus on the main idea. Focus on listening to the rhythm and the feeling of the conversation.
Think of this podcast like sitting in a cafe with two friends. We are not teachers giving a test. We are just chatting. So take a deep breath, maybe drink some water or tea, and just enjoy the sound of English.
Perfect. Are you ready, Sarah?
I was born ready, Daniel. Let's get started.
So, Sarah, let's answer the big question. What does YNI stand for? I mean, we have said the name many times, but have we actually told the story?
Oh, good point. Okay, everyone. YNI stands for You Need It. But wait, don't worry, we are not selling anything strange.
No sales today. The idea is simple. We believe that to learn English well, you need real conversations. You need natural stories. You need to hear how people actually speak, not just how robots speak in textbooks.
Exactly. Textbooks are great for grammar rules, but they often sound a bit stiff, like, hello, how do you do? Who actually says that anymore?
Right. Nobody says that unless they are in an old movie from 1950. In real life, we say, hey, what's up? Or how's it going?
So the goal of YNI podcast is to bridge that gap. We want to help English learners feel comfortable with real, daily English. Our target audience is anyone who wants to improve their listening skills without stress, from beginners to intermediate learners.
Yes, whether you're walking your dog, cooking dinner, or driving to work, you can listen to us. We want to be part of your daily routine. Speaking of routines, Daniel, why did you want to start this podcast? Was there a specific moment?
That's a good question. You know, a few years ago, I traveled to London. I studied English for 5 years in school. I knew all the grammar. I could write perfect essays.
Let me guess, but when you got there, you couldn't understand anything.
You hit the nail on the head. That's actually one of our idioms for today, but we will explain it later. Yes, I was in a coffee shop and the barista asked me something very simple, but he spoke so fast and had such a strong accent that I just stood there smiling like a fool. I said, sorry, what? 3 times.
Oh no, that is so relatable. I think every language learner has been there. It's embarrassing, right? It was. I felt so small. But later, I realized the problem wasn't my grammar. The problem was that I never practiced listening to real, messy, fast conversations. I only listened to slow, clear audio. So I wanted to create a place where people can practice listening to normal speed English, with pauses, with ums and ahs, just like real life.
That makes total sense. My story is a little different, but similar. I used to teach English online. I had students from Japan, Brazil, and Indonesia. They were amazing at writing tests, but when we started a video call, they would freeze.
Freeze? Like an ice cube?
Basically, yes. Their faces would look scared. They were afraid of making mistakes. They wanted to be perfect before speaking. I told them, guys, communication is not about being perfect. It's about connecting.
That's such good advice.
Thanks. So I thought, if I can create a podcast where the atmosphere is super relaxed, maybe listeners will feel less pressure. If they hear us making jokes, laughing, and sometimes forgetting words, they'll realize, hey, it's okay to be imperfect.
Absolutely. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Wow, that sounds deep, Daniel. Did you read that in a book?
Maybe I saw it on a coffee mug once, but it's true. So, what kind of topics can our listeners expect in future episodes? We don't want to just talk about grammar rules.
No way. Boring. We want to cover everything. Next week, maybe we will talk about travel nightmares. You know, those trips where everything goes wrong.
Oh, I have so many stories for that. Once I missed my flight because I went to the wrong terminal. I ran so fast, but the plane had already left. I was out of luck.
See, there is another idiom. We will list them at the end. But yes, travel stories, food culture, movies, technology, and even dating stories.
Ooh, dating stories might be dangerous.
Don't worry, we'll keep it clean. We also plan to invite guests sometimes, maybe other content creators or teachers, but mostly it will be just you and me chatting.
And we promise to speak clearly, but naturally. We won't speak too fast, but we won't speak like robots either. We want to challenge your ears a little bit, but in a friendly way.
Exactly. Think of us as your English gym buddies. We're here to exercise your listening muscles.
I like that analogy. So, Sarah, what is your hope for our listeners after they finish an episode?
My biggest hope is confidence. I want them to finish an episode and think, wow, I understood that. I didn't need a dictionary. I want them to feel proud of their progress.
Yes, and I hope they feel entertained. Learning should be fun. If you're having fun, you learn faster. If you're stressed, your brain closes up.
True. You know, Daniel, starting this podcast was actually quite scary for me too.
Really? You seem so confident now.
Well, thanks. But honestly, recording the first few minutes felt weird. Talking to a microphone with no one in the room, it felt like talking to myself. I thought, is anyone going to listen? What if they think my voice is annoying?
See, even hosts get nervous. But then I remembered why we're doing this. We are doing it to help people. And honestly, your voice is very calming, not annoying at all.
Aw, thank you, Daniel. That's sweet of you to say. You know, there's a saying, 2 heads are better than 1.
Another idiom. You are collecting them today.
I try my best. But seriously, doing this together makes it easier. When I get stuck on a topic, you jump in. When I tell a long story, I make sure we stay on track.
That's true. We balance each other out, like peanut butter and jelly.
Classic combination. So to all our new friends listening, thank you for giving us a chance. We know there are thousands of English podcasts out there. Choosing ours means a lot.
Yes, thank you. We promise to bring you good content, lots of laughs, and useful English tips every week. We want to build a community here, so if you have topic ideas, please send them to us. We read all the messages.
Definitely. Maybe next time we can answer some of your questions directly. An Ask Daniel and Sarah segment?
I love that idea. Let's do it. But for today, since it is our very first episode, we just wanted to say hello and set the stage.
We want you to feel at home. Imagine you're sitting on a comfortable sofa with us. No stress, no exams, just good conversation.
And remember our opening advice. Don't panic if you miss a word. Just keep listening. Your brain is working hard even when you think it's not.
Yes, repetition is key. Listen to this episode again tomorrow. You might catch new things the second time.
Great tip. Okay, Sarah, I think we have talked enough about ourselves for one day. We don't want to bore everyone.
Never. But we should probably wrap this up and let our listeners go about their day.
Agreed. It's been a pleasure, Sarah.
Likewise, Daniel. This is going to be a fun journey.
All right, everyone. That brings us to the end of our very first episode of YNI Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed getting to know us. Remember, learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. Take your time.
Beautifully said. If you liked this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss episode 2.
In the next episode, we will talk about common mistakes English learners make, and we'll share some funny personal stories about our own mistakes. You won't want to miss it.
Until then, keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, keep smiling.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Goodbye.